Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be another reading. I'm flowing through the energies and the signs, the days, the months. Right now, the reading is for Pisces. So, welcome if you're another sign, and welcome if you have Pisces in another part of your chart. I will say this is going to be more of a flowing reading, but it does seem that there's a lesson of being able to do other things in times of stillness. Um, One of the newer decks that I got is the Goddess Love Oracle. I feel like I wanted to make the title for this video New Era, because it does seem to be so. And I do have the sister deck of for the creator, um, and it felt that it was slowly transitioning into using the other deck, which is this one, because I've said in most of the videos that I use for like talking about decks as the art of reading and wanting to talk about the different interpretations of different decks and even oracle decks, the way that it's constructed and the way that it has a flowing of energy and what could have been the intentions of the creator. It does feel like new era energy of, for me, going into from one deck to another deck for the creator. Sorry, as I said in other videos, I normally just connect with one deck from a creator, at least at a time. It just seems to be where my energy goes, and now it's this. I didn't realize that on the cover, the card is stillness, and I purchased this deck after I made that video. So, if there is something to say about that, my first card is from this deck is The Awakening, Live in the Moment. So I do feel like it's a little bit nomadic right now. I am going to be switching my backgrounds again because I'm going to get a hotel closer to my job. Um, and then with that, rebirth, let go of the ties that bind. And there is a soft crone energy in here too that either a deck shows it or it doesn't show it, I notice. Um, but it does have some energy that blends into it and it's not so drastic. And I was asking about doing these readings, and I got dedication, tour challenges will reap rewards with self-discovery, dive deep, and then also before this reading about asking about these readings is calmness, let things settle, and companionship, you are not alone. So especially with the calmness card on let things settle, there can be a little bit of antsy energy because as much as we like we like things to propel forward, um, we need to let things run the way that they need to, the route that they need to go on. This is a little different because for a lot of the past videos I've been reading for the mind of the bear, and now I'm being told that I will not be going in that direction. So I was thinking, well, where will I travel? And will it be traveling to another mind's another mind to see what information or helpful things that I could get? And of course, it is more on a voluntary basis. I'm not trying to force myself to go in there necessarily. Although the last couple encounters were a little bit hostile on my end, or I guess on the other side, and then I was encountering it. But I was thinking, well, should I read and travel to the circle of friends again to see what would be helpful? Because, sorry, just to say, with going to the mind of the bear, it still is something that is blocked. And sometimes I need to focus my energy and say, that's not where you're going. Because I feel like in some ways it could be linked to the universal law too. And I suppose if you want to think about it as if like the universal police saying, remember what you're doing, Adrian, it's where you're going. Um, if you're trying to do the right thing and still be um, going by your moral compass, then you'll go on a different route for that one. So, I travel and then I see, well, maybe the first circle of friends, the one that would travel a lot and would give these, give information and find information constantly moving, and it would drop in certain locations. Um, I thought about maybe that uh, alternative. Uh, to be honest, I wasn't sure if that was the most helpful initially when I first was traveling back that direction. The mind on the other side was more focused on other things because I did mention that that circle of friend, at least the one that would be the one that would maybe delegate the other stuff if there was a small group, to say the least. Um, he was more focused on, I guess, well, the next person that he would encounter in more of a intimate way. So his mind wasn't where what the direction that I was going towards. The most recent one, and unfortunately, it isn't the depth that I was looking for the information that I was getting or that I would like to see to get. And then I was thinking, well, how about when the bear tried to keep his enemies close, specifically that person? Uh, and then I did go into that mind, and it was really interesting because when I got there, it was like a house, and the door was like already creaked open, and I got there, and it was like the person sitting in the kitchen, and there were already beings like taunting him, and then like already surrounding him, and he was upset. And I was like, you didn't lock your door, you didn't put like security cameras up or anything, or have something. um because the last mind that I was in for a couple of readings, and even when I wasn't reading, I almost got killed in it. So I wasn't, I was just surprised. And um then I went to a different room, and I saw a bunch of boxes, and they were they weren't alphabetized, or they weren't in categories. They were kind of just like placed here and placed there. And so at some point I was kind of like flipping boxes with the papers. And now with this reading, it just feels more direct. As soon as I started it, I was like, I feel that I might touch up on that another time, but the one or the two, at least, because there's at least two. In the beginning, it felt like there was one, um, that was trying to get to the person that was in the video, where it was like, keep your enemies closer. So that's who I'll do the reading on for this one. Sorry for the long introduction. It's the reversed Ace of Swords. I'll put that one in the reading. And there was a word that came to me because I went to pick up this deck, because I won't go too much on a tangent anymore, but I was at another bookstore and I didn't pick it up because I was just picking up like a drink for me to have on the ride home, since it was going to be a couple hours in the car back. Um, but it just felt like the right time. The word that I was getting in the car, and I'm it's not the best the best word to get. It was radon. So I'm just going to see, because I'm not gonna assume. Because there is a stillness still. A stillness still. There's a stillness. Um, and then at the bottom it's the lovers. Sorry, it's Kind of reminds me of the lights that we've been seeing. I haven't gone out of my way to look at them, but I heard that they're out there. The card that came out again, and this is, I feel like, more of a confirmation um, for the stillness, because the card that I got is stillness again and calmness. So stillness, be calm and quiet, and then calmness, let things settle. Because I was also getting more of like a seal energy. And like with animals, some of them do therapy, like in the water, to help their joints. Such a romantic energy that I usually get with the love or with the Pisces in the last couple of cycles that I've been reading for the sign. Because with the lovers and the Ace of Swords reversed, um, and then having things being calm and still, that there's still an awareness, even if there is the energy of not being able to be like in the same vicinity or to communicate in some way, since we're talking about swords. With the stillness card, it looks like there's trees coming out at the top here, and even with hair, it's more symbolic of getting messages from above, like antlers are. And with the calmness of the waters, it does seem more intuitive as well. We also have the death card here. There seems to be an energy of like avenging, because there's the Ten of Cups with the Justice card. But with the Justice card, it also has to do with law. So it does feel like, as I said in the beginning, the universal law. even though the other side, it just seems like the other side has no problem with breaking those things. But if we go back to the last reading before the daily message, it was one where the bear was brought deep under. That's the image that I was getting with the angels that were surrounding. And then there were beings there, um, which I was getting later on were the beings that have fallen under the bear. So that was part of the witness, and that was because I was getting that since the bear was cloaked for so long, for a while, with the thing that was in his mind too, um, it was once that was away, once the cloak left, then judgment was being called on it, on the bear. Because the way that it's blocked off, it kind of feels like the universe saying, Adrian, don't get in the way of the universal law. That was okay. Then you have the Eight of Wheels, the Eight of Pentacles, and this is an extra card in the deck too. It does seem a little unassuming. With the extra card and then the Four of Knives. There's something that's being waited out. And I feel like it has to do with waiting for what the next call is. Because there isn't a call that's being made at the moment, which seems to be confusing both sides. I was getting another vision too, specifically for me, and it kind of expanded. Like I was in. The mind is a strong tool, and this place, it was near the water, and it expands because now there's rocks on the water where I walk, and then it seems to glisten because it's illuminated by the light that I have. And then there's a lighthouse. So, what is being guided at this time, and what is at the water that I am meant to see? Because there's a Six of Wands. The Six of Wands I did talk about in the daily message today, because she does have like a handkerchief that's red here. So there's still some bloodshed there. And then it's the Three of Wands. There's something that people are waiting on. As they continue with the Magician and the Eight of Pentacles to do the things that they know how to do, that they know were sanctioned to do or delegated in that manner. I'm also getting no news is good news. It was an interesting thing because I remember a conversation from a while back, and I was having this conversation, and then the response was, but the Delulu people are the happiest. And then I was like, oh my God, to be honest, because there's just these messages that are being told, and I feel that I'm being more so guided to say these messages, and they're specific, and I am one that I was thinking maybe I would, I guess, hang the decks up and do other things. But it's there, and the decks are here, and I felt like I needed to pick the decks back up. So it's the Six of Cups. Six of Cups with the Nine of Pentacles. And I feel like I'm meant to remember something because thought and memory come in. Because it's the Nine of Swords. With the Six of Cups and even the Six of Coins. So 6 is going to be an important number. With the Nine of Coins, it feels like there can be help. Sorry. With the Nine of Coins can help the Six of Pentacles. Because this time I was specifically asking, what does radon have to do with this? Because that's one of the more direct questions of it all. It feels something so catastrophic that this group or this specific person is experiencing, because you had the reverse Ace of Swords and the Lovers. It's hard to come back from it. And even that location that had nuclear damage, it became almost inhabitable. Sorry. Um, and then there's the question of making it to that state if neither of them, so neither of them could have it. But I keep getting no news is good news, as if the stillness is more of a blessing, if anything. because with the communication in the last message of one person knows what the other person is doing, one hand knows what the other hand is doing, and it's the Four of Knives and this extra card. This extra card is not part of the deck technically, so it's a person that basically doesn't exist, as if it runs or it's called to be a ghost, I guess, under the government. And it seems like it's just slow moving right now because I keep getting that needing to receive a message. But with the Knight of Pentacles here, it's like this Knight of Pentacles is more cautious because of what he could step on, and then she's covering her ears as if for this reading, it's like she's not getting the messages, or he's not getting the messages, or neither of them are getting messages. Sorry. I feel like this Queen of Wands is linked to this Strength card. On the other side, not with the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles seems to be on the Bear's side. And the Strength, it's almost like getting back up on your feet after being wounded. It just keeps going because it doesn't have a choice. And then with the Lion, it's kind of defending the land in that way. And then it's the Eight of Wands. And that's what is going against the Queen of Wands with the Strength card from the Knight of Pentacles. I'm sorry, my chair keeps squeaking. In this time, it's definitely great to, I'm getting like to be responsible to do things that you know need to get done, especially if there was damages or wounds that need to be tended to, things that were destroyed that can hopefully be worked on a good amount during this time of stillness. It's actually an extremely important time. And with the Wheel of Fortune too, it does feel like I'm getting the words divine intervention in that regard. And the Eight of Wands. I feel like I forget if that was in, sorry, Eight of Wands, if they taught it like in school on at least they would train you on like those olden guns that you had to fill up, and it like was really tedious too. So with the Eight of Wands, time might go by quickly during this time of stillness. So what you do during this time is important. I would like to go as far as to say that if you can get things done, especially with the infrastructure of things, it could help with connection outside of the area because you have the world card in the future. For some, others might be healing. And then, I'm sorry, it's, and then others will be rushing with the Ace of Wands in the Strength card with the Queen of Wands. It's almost like you're fighting while you're wounded. For some, it might be that you felt like it was a good investment because you have the Page of Coins and then the Nine of Cups. And if it could be like, since it's a Pisces reading, it could be someone being happy or like this is like a glorious opportunity because I maybe chose this person or this person came into my life and now it's getting to a point where maybe things get more serious or things are moving or propelling forward in some way. Even when there isn't so much communication, but there's a lot of things that prepare you so that you can get to that point. In other regards, it could also be, since it's the coins and the pentacles, it could be with education too. I was also getting in the beginning, but today actually, earlier, a little bit today, earlier today, sorry, I said that weird. Um, the grandmother willow image is if someone was like wanting to have some advice. And then like an endearing message too. For the how to overcome the obstacle, I'm getting the eight. I'm sorry, I said eight, and I didn't mean to say eight. So it could be linked to the Eight of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and on the overall energy with that is the Five of Wands and the Seven of Wands. So seven before eight, as we know, which does feel like again preparation because you're moving forward. And sorry, it doesn't, not trying to be like TMI, but like it reminds me of like preparation H. to help with hemorrhoids, because there seems to be like some type of discomfort, because it does feel like it's like a wound healing stage too. For the last couple of readings, I was getting that. The Seven of Wands trying to hold off, and then the Eight of Wands, it just feels like things just keep pushing on or keep like um, even attacking. And but with it being the Five of Wands to go with the Seven of Wands, at the very least, it's not the worst that they have encountered. And then the obstacle is the Devil card. It kind of feels like still at the same place at the same time, doing the same things. And it's over and over and over again. This is tedious. And when is it gonna change up? When are things gonna start looking up and being better? Then there's Hermit. The next reading I may do a thought and memory type of reading. Was it the Hukin and Moonin? I don't think I'm saying it correctly. Um, with the Hermit, it does link to information. It it kind of feels like linking to a library, or even like the Akashic records, or if you wanted to go that far with it, if you believe in that type of stuff. Um, just something needs to be retraced, something that is already evident or that's already known, that needs to be resurfaced, that is helpful. Within the present, it's the Ace of Coins, which does feel like the honestly the God-given opportunity. To go with that is the Nine of Wands, and this feels like one of those stressed out, tired energies. It almost feels like a cramming energy too. Although it's the wands and not the swords, but not like it necessarily links to that in that way. It feels like the stress of if you have an exam the next day and you just started studying like the night before, and needing to get all of these things done in this matter of time, trying to get a couple of chapters in your brain before, sorry, before you actually take the exam. But there's a steadiness to it, and I feel like that's important to know too, because um, if you're studying class, and I really relied on my assignments because for college at least, and then I didn't worry as much for my exams. One, because it really can bring your grade up, like as you hand in each assignment, and then when it comes down to it, for those exams that we could say that they're actually what we learned in the course, it's the gradual information of what was in each class and what was in each assignment, and a little bit of extra stuff. And I'll pull out a couple more cards. The Eight of Pentacles is at the bottom of this deck, the Theater Dolls Tarot. And the words I'm getting is that it's there for you to use. Like something is public. So I pulled out more than a couple of cards, but because with the Ace of Swords, it feels it's with the Five of Cups, and the Five of Cups, if you're driving, if and it just rained, you kind of get an idea of how slippery the road is. So there's a little bit of caution there, and it feels like it's a heads up and an anticipation. Because there is withheld information with the Page of Cups. And the Hermit. And again, with divine timing and the Star. Well, you have Temperance with divine timing. Also linked to Aquarius, also having an angelic being. I'm sorry, the Star linking to Aquarius, Temperance linking to Sagittarius, with the angelic being. And then the Temperance calming the chaos with the Star. And again with time, because the Empress is there too, and the Page of Cups, it wants to know more, and yet it's not the right time. For this assassin energy, there is definitely a faithfulness to the energy. You have the Hierophant. To the King of Pentacles. So I guess the King of Pentacles was able to match the price for this Hierophant card. And then, although Hierophant can be linked to something more on the divine or spiritual side of it, of being connected in a religious way, it feels like there's a faithfulness to their own cause and faithfulness to that price that they wanted and they received. Also, with the Sun card, too, the Sun card, it does feel like they are within that area, because the Sun card, if they're coming from the where they originally came from, it does feel like a little bit of a night and day, temperature wise. So this is more in the rabbit's land. And I had a statue. And it was a rabbit statue praying. It was in my car, and it's like something that you put outside because it's one that can withstand different types of weather conditions. And I put it at my godmother's, where my first rabbit is at, where the first rabbit is buried. And it felt like a good place. Um, Felt a little bit like closure too, in a way. It, a bit of, I guess, a little drastic for that, but I was young when I had that rabbit. Um, with the Three of Swords, though, as I kept saying, like, one hand knows what the other hand is doing, and then there's more than one person. The other person doesn't seem to be doing well, because there's just, again, a stillness. And it's a person that has been encountered in the past with the Six of Cups on what to do, and the Knight of Pentacles. So this energy, it's the energy that was evident in readings before that, before um, before this one. And it just feels like it's holding back, and it knows to hold back. Because there's the Ten of Cups here, but there's like the apples at the bottom. Sorry, I know it's not clear. The Queen of Swords and the King of Cups. So it does seem like, because with the calmness, let things settle. It kind of looks like it links to the light that I saw with the bear in the last encounter. Because you have the sun card here too. Sorry. It's the Queen of Swords versus the King of Cups. I feel like this energy is purposefully pulling back based off of the light that was in the Sun card and the Nine of Knives and the Three of Knives, the Three of Swords, Nine of Swords. Because it feels that light is breaking. And then there's a sense of awareness. So it does feel like it has to do with what happened with the bear. And then it's the Six of Cups. Six of Cups kind of feels like it's a happy space, a happy place, happy space. Um, because there is light that's there. And then the Two of Pentacles kind of reminds me of like the vision of like walking on those stones on the water with the Magician. Because something was done, something is done, and then this energy knows it and then it tries to hold back. So I'll pull out my final cards, even though I said that already. Um, there is going to be heavy movement. And again, like this isn't thought and memory, but the chariot is there with the two birds. And then the Nine of Coins, the Knight of Pentacles with the Eight of Cups. And then something needs to be retrieved. Going back or coming back for what it's yours. So I'll read what it says in the book for the stillness and the calmness. It says stillness, be calm and quiet. Goddess brings you the gift of stillness and serenity. This is a very busy and noisy world, and it is hard to find quietness either without or within. There is so much stimulation. Perhaps your mind is in overdrive with thoughts competing for space. Projects, plans, dreams, and chores are all cluttered together, fighting for attention. Goddess has come to you, now offering peaceful stillness. She understands that you are being swept along in the hubbub of your world and comes to offer you sorry, her hand to pull you out of the frenzy. She calls to walk with her into a dream landscape where snow has stilled chaos and hushed the noise. All is serenity and quiet. She asks you to use the time to listen to what is within you and to let go of your feelings in having to do something, create something, appease someone, or placate someone. Take advantage of the stillness and silence where movement, business, duty, obligation, and noise cannot reach you. Like a rabbit deep within her burrow, retreat into the silence and safety. In the stillness of Goddess asks you to hear the noise of the world babbling like a river beneath the ice. She calls you to listen with a heart free of judgment and full of compassion. She may send her sacred friend into your life to remind you to step off of the treadmill from the time to time so your voice and ideas can be heard more clearly from the place of refuge. Owl may come in to show you to so you may see the whole view more clearly from a distance, and Goddess may send you her sacred dove with a message of deep peace and stillness. And then calmness, let things settle. Life can sometimes be rolling waves and gusty winds that can leave you either energized or exhausted and windswept. Times of great movement can be thrilling. A stormy sea will drag away sands and expose treasures hiding just below, and its currents let new opportunities rise to the surface. But to allow these opportunities to manifest, you need to examine the treasures and quantify the opportunities. Mother Ocean comes to offer you a period of calmness and stillness, a chance to take stock and let things settle. The world around you may be moving at a pace of roaring tempest, but let your body and your mind be still so that you may hear the gentle beating of your own heart pulsing the calming waves within you, and the voice of Goddess guiding you. Her sacred seal teaches you to reveal your creative talents and let your imagination swim free. The most precious treasure is to be found in the arms of Mother Ocean. You will feel free her gift of tranquility seep into the depths of your inner sea, a space that resonates with the very truth of you. Here you will know that you are whole, that you are loved, and that you are exactly the time and the space where you need to be right now. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in another video. Bye.